Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. In this video, I want to show you my honest review, and I hope I will be able to highlight all the pros and cons of this product. So let's begin.
Are you playing blood pressure roulette? Did you know that if you use blood pressure medication, you have less than a 50-50 chance you'll improve your health, not to mention putting yourself in grave danger. And a 50-50 chance of dangerous side effects is only if you're lucky. It could be much, much worse. Hi, my name is Michael. I'm a recently retired pharmacist who is finally able to expose the hidden lies of the prescription drug industry. I can do this because, unlike most pharmacists and doctors, I don't have to be worried about the FDA breaking down my doors or suing me into the poorhouse. In this video, you're about to get the truth. The whole scary truth that no other medical expert will ever tell you about your blood pressure. And, more importantly, I'll teach you through one proven way to turn the tables on Big Pharma, lower your blood pressure naturally, and finally lower your risk for a deadly heart or health disaster once and for all. So I urge you, turn everything off, even your phone, and watch this urgent presentation until the very end. It could save your life. I say that because when it comes to prescription drugs and surgery, there's nearly a 60% chance you'll be the victim of a life-threatening or even life-ending complication. For instance, arthritis drugs like Vioxx and Bextra turned out to be vicious killers before they were yanked from the market for causing heart attacks. Antidepressant drugs like Zoloft, Paxil, Luvox, and others are supposed to boost your mood, not raise your chances for suicide. Hormone replacement drugs such as Prempro are supposed to save women's lives, not double your risk of breast cancer. And those using a popular drug to stimulate their sex life are losing their eyesight and dropping dead from heart attacks. And what about blood pressure meds, you may wonder? Well, I know from firsthand the experience that prescription drugs are often a horror show of side effects you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. I still remember the day when I was personally diagnosed with hypertension. I was in my doctor's office for a routine checkup and he told me the bad news. Michael, your blood pressure is extremely elevated. You're at 163 over 105, and that increases your risk for coronary heart disease, heart failure, stroke, kidney disease. The list went on. If you want to live past 65, I want you to immediately get on several medications I'm going to prescribe now. This is not optional. I was devastated. Even though I was a pharmacist, I personally hated the idea of being on multiple medications for the rest of my life. But that wasn't the worst part. Again, the real pain came once I started on the meds and the side effects kicked in. First, the diuretics, which they prescribed to flush excess water and sodium from the body, had me running to the bathroom dozens of times throughout the day. Worse, the drugs made it impossible for me to perform in the bedroom, killing my confidence as a man and putting a massive strain on my marriage. But that was only the beginning. I also started taking ACE inhibitors. Now, frequently prescribed ACE inhibitors include enalapril, Vasitec, lisinopril, Prinavil, Zestril, and ramipril, Altace. But from a side effect perspective, they're all pretty much the same. Like many, I began coughing often, getting horrible headaches, and even experiencing lightheadedness and dizziness throughout the day. It got so bad I could barely function and had to take extended leave from work. Still, the nightmare was far from over, because my doctor also put me on calcium channel blockers, which is extremely common. But this only made matters worse. My brain got even foggier, my cough got worse, my energy sank like a rock in water, and I was so nauseous or constipated most of the time I barely felt like eating. I was literally wasting away in front of the TV each day. My legs elevated to ease the pain in my joints, with my wife growing more and more worried with each passing day. But we both assumed it was a worthwhile sacrifice to get my blood pressure down, and hopefully the side effects were only temporary. So, you can imagine my horror when I went to the doctor over a month later, only to find that had not gone down at all. Not one single point. Worse, the side effects seemed to be getting more severe, and my doctor said there was no guarantee they'd go away. I was devastated beyond belief. I walked out of his office that day, still stunned, realizing that this plan wasn't working out for me, and I needed to explore my alternatives. So, I began researching the effectiveness of these drugs, and what I discovered made me furious. You see, only 43% of people taking those meds get results. And your best hope is to be among that group. Here's what I mean. Among the estimated 68 million Americans who have elevated blood pressure, about 70% of them use blood pressure medications. Yet, among those 47 million people, the American Society for Hypertension has reported that only 42.9% reduce their blood pressure to a level that's healthy. If you're lucky enough to get your blood pressure down with these drugs, you can probably expect many of the following side effects just like I did, including fatigue, headaches, lightheadedness, loss of essential minerals, kidney damage, lower libido, erectile dysfunction, digestive disorders, elevated triglycerides, blood fats, and LDL, bad cholesterol, vision problems, anxiety and restlessness, anemia, sensitivity to sunlight, plus increased risk of developing cardiac arrhythmias and diabetes. And it's worse if you're over 60. Excessive blood pressure lowering with medication can dangerously prevent adequate blood flow to the heart, leading to cardiac arrhythmia and sudden cardiac death. This, of course, isn't the first time pharmaceutical drugs have resulted in horrible side effects or death, because the simple fact remains, prescription drugs now kill more people than illegal drugs. Death by prescription drugs is a 21st century epidemic, now killing more Americans than motor vehicle accidents. Drug fatalities more than tripled among people aged 50 to 69 from 2000 to 2008. It's estimated that there are 450,000 preventable adverse reactions to medications in the U.S. every year, accounting for a substantial proportion of emergency room visits. I'm not trying to scare you, nor am I suggesting you avoid drugs doing nothing, because doing nothing about your hypertension can be just as deadly. According to the Mayo Clinic, if you have difficulty sleeping, your risk of high blood pressure, hypertension, can be up to 2 to 3 times greater. Multiple studies have shown elevated blood pressure is linked to a higher risk of developing cancer or dying from the disease. The CDC says that high blood pressure can contribute to chronic kidney disease, according to the Centers for Disease Control. High blood pressure and some of the medications used to treat it can increase the risk for developing diabetes. High blood pressure can injure the blood vessels in the eye's retina, accelerating loss of sight. And that's just scratching the surface. So here's the bottom line. If you have high blood pressure, do something about it. The drugs you're prescribed carry massive risk, along with a guaranteed list of miserable side effects. Plus, extremely weak odds you'll ever get better. That's why the next few minutes of this video could save your life. Because in just a moment, I'm going to introduce you to a discovery I found in my research that has been proven by multiple clinical studies performed by elite institutions, published in highly respected medical journals, including one of Europe's leading research publications, that could very well be the single most important discovery ever made for blood pressure health. This natural solution can safely reduce blood pressure, lower bad cholesterol LDL levels, balance your blood sugar, help heal your heart, reverse many of the BP med side effects, restore lost libido, give you your energy back, and help you feel healthy again. Best of all, you don't need a prescription or years of trial and error with unproven herbs you don't know whether they're working or not. This is proven to be both effective and side effect free. In the future, this is how people will treat hypertension and reduce blood pressure naturally. Only you don't have to wait. You can start today.
Cool, right? Check out our amazing deals on thousands of products. Click the link in the description.